That was
just...
Oh, sweet black Jesus. Anyway, we are back after like a month hiatus.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, actually.
We don't have a carbonated beverage to start off the recording, so just...
No, we just got water and gamer subs.
So just shake up the sup near the mic. That'll be a close second. Nut.
While gone, I've been doing some...
doing
some stuff.
He's been busy.
Been a little bit busy, just taking down Mr. Shakedown, which his next goal, he's gone... So basically, the first one, he's basically traveled across the world to make him stronger. He's bought an island, so his next thing that he's gonna do is try to get enough money to go to space.
Oh, that's what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay, so for context...
I know I did say...
In our group chat, he just opens up and goes to Discord one day and just says, Mr. Shakedown is in space, and then doesn't elaborate any further. I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Okay, I did message that a tiny bit early, because I was...
A tiny bit early?
That's a new one, too.
All you said was, Mr. Shakedown is in space, didn't elaborate, and
I'd
then
be
left.
very disappointed if he wasn't.
But you know who else leaves a message without just elaborating any further?
Me?
Miyamoto. In today's Nintendo Direct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he said Pikmin... So, yeah.
He said, like, he's like, yeah, the day we'll record is when the September Direct comes out.
9/13/2022.
Miyamoto shows up. He's like, hey, we're working on the Mario movie. We're working on the Nintendo Land at
Hollywood Studios in Los Angeles, I believe.
We're also working on Pikmin 4, and we got like a bit of new footage of Breath of the Wild, Tear of the Kingdom, and then says nothing else and just leaves.
Before we continue with that subject, please tell me about Guts' theme.
Okay.
Please tell me that story, because I've been wanting to know.
So, do you know about the manga that?
Yes, I know the manga.
No, another thing. It was the. What was it? I just had it open. Yeah. So, do you remember when I shared the one panel of the two students that were just screaming at each other, I want to explore your body, and then she replies, actually, I've been thinking the same. Mutual consent. So, okay, it's the series called Do Chokyo Karashi X Kanojo. It's just two idiots that somehow managed to fall in love with each other. And while reading it, so that very same chapter where it happens, they immediately go home and smash. And then I'm reading it and just like, this is... Oh shit.
He punched his glasses off.
This is actually a pretty hilarious chapter. And then as I'm reading the chapter late at night, I'm just thinking to myself, man, I almost had a situation like that. But now I'm all sad and alone. And now I'm gonna die forever and just cry myself to sleep. And then I was just like, just wallowing in my self-deprecation and sadness. And then somehow, maybe to cope, my funny mode activates in my brain. I'm like, look at this weakling with his first world problems complaining that he's sad and alone. And then, in my own funny imagination, I imagine myself reading that manga, or the two protagonists just smashing, and then I'm just like under the sheets, just crying myself to sleep. And then I play the guts theme in my head, just to add on to the emotions.
And here I thought you maybe got into Berserk.
No, I haven't started it still. That's what I said. That's what why I said, prepare to be disappointed, because this is going to be a pretty dumb conversation point.
We'll continue on with talking about the Direct, because I do want to say some stuff. And one of the first things that was on that Direct was Fire Emblem Engage.
This is going to be the only thing you're going to hear in this episode.
Well, I don't want to make it the only thing, but I'm a kind of mixed on it. So there was leaks so there was a few leaks a month or two ago.
A couple months, I think, yeah.
Where the leaks said the next Fire Emblem game will have a character with red and blue hair and has a connection to like dragons or a dragon god.
Yeah.
As well as I think they also said there would be something to tie in with where past heroes would show up.
Yeah. That made me think there was going to be another Echoes game. Because also in the trailer, when like Marth and like Lynn showed up, it's like, oh, obviously this is going to be an Echoes game. They're remaking an old classic. But well, no. This looks to be the first time Marth comes back in a game where it's not just a fun little DLC. Hey, here's Marth, have fun. This is going to be a legit, oh shit, Marth's back.
But yeah, so it's like there were those leaks that showed up a few months ago, and they were spot on. And when I read those leaks, I was really hoping that was not the case. Because character with red and blue hair, that seems a bit much for my taste with like a design. Everything else, I seemed okay with. But seeing as they were now spot on, I'm a little kind of disappointed.
As one very snarky tweet pointed out, if I can find it, I'll put
Colgate.
it up. Yeah, the new protagonist looks like if Colgate made a VTuber mascot.
And I hate that. It's the meme's like spot on.
Although,
because the design looks kind of stupid.
Hear me out.
Because okay, here's the thing. Shez is the character's name, right?
Yeah.
Shez, very vibrant purple hair. I was mixed on it, but you know what? I thought, I'll let it pass because that's also a side game, and the design somewhat grew on a little bit. But with Colgate character, it looks really fucking dumb.
So hear me out.
And not to mention, like, okay, so it looks dumb. The other problem I kind of have is just the design of some of the characters in general.
I was going to say...
It looks like something from Genshin Impact, and it looks a bit generic.
The art style does remind me a lot of Genshin. But a lot of the other characters, I think, they do... I don't know, they just look nice. Nothing, like, stands out to me, but they don't look as, like, I don't know, vibrant as the Colgates.
Yeah, but it's still, like, anime generic, or it's getting even more anime, and I kind of don't like that. It's a bit too much for me personally. Another thing is the idea of bringing back old heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of thought it would be an interesting idea, but as I was watching the trailer, it was seeming like that they are taking more of a Fire Emblem Heroes sort of look and feel to the game, which I also don't like.
Yeah.
Like we already have heroes here, and I feel like it would be better if we just kept, like, say, Fire Emblem characters from past games more of like an extra or side thing, and maybe more focus on brand new characters.
Although, I'm just fascinated on seeing why are they bringing back characters from, like, the OG timeline. I was like, how is this going to work narratively? That I'm kind of, like, excited to see just what they do with that.
The one thing about bringing back old characters, and also for this episode of Yakuza, we are going to continue the story.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing, I am mixed about bringing old heroes back. Like, it's cool, but I'm like, it feels a little easy in going with what Heroes is already doing.
Yeah. Ooh, shiny.
But I will say, with them bringing back old heroes, they are showing us Sigurd and Leif, the lords of genealogy and Thracia 776. those games are still Japan exclusive. So I'm hoping people even more people will see those characters and maybe be interested in playing Genealogy and Thracia. So if it raises the chances of us getting to play those games through remakes, I'm all for it.
There was also another part of the trailer where like they reveal what appears to be like the main villain putting on the ring, and then the narrator says, "Oh, like the binding spell is breaking free," and I was just like, "Binding blade."
Binding blade.
That's immediately what my thought just went to. Binding blade.
Binding blade. But yeah, those are kind of my sort of issues with the game. I just kind of don't like the art style. It's a little generic for my taste a bit, and it's trying to go with heroes a little bit too much as well. And another thing, but I can't really comment too much on it because we only saw a little bit. The maps. There are some interesting elements I saw in the direct that showed off the maps of that new game.
Oh yeah.
There's some cool elements that I did see, but one thing that caught my eye was that the maps seem small. Again, I didn't see like the whole maps, but from what I saw, they feel and seem small.
They could have just been like I don't know, like a tutorial stage, or maybe it's just like really narrow and long. But it'll probably make more sense once we get the whole game and see the context.
Yeah, that is the case. Like, I need to see more to make a better judgment. But yeah, those are currently my thoughts. Now, with Three Houses, I was also a bit slow to play that game due to the art style, because I grew a liking to Awakening and Fate's, like, cutscene art style. Yeah. I really liked that, and when I saw... God, that guy's an asshole. But I grew to love that art style a lot, especially with its animation. I just thought it was cool. So when I saw Three Houses going with like a look kind of similar to Echoes, I was a bit a bit sad. But Three Houses really grew on me, and it's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe I might have some like growing pains with this next game, but so far, those are my current thoughts.
Actually, no, speaking of Three Houses, I kind of also wanted to talk about Three Hopes, because you haven't played it at all, have you?
I have not. I've been playing some other games.
Okay. And
I've been meaning to buy it.
As someone that has played it all the way through, it's a little strong. It's a little hard to like recommend it, because the game feels like 80% complete.
Like there was maybe still some more.
You know the feeling when you in the main game when like the Cindered Shadows route? This feels like it's like missing 4 or 5 chapters, because it turns out it actually was. Yeah, that's the same in Three Hopes, but for all the routes. Because there's only 15 chapters and
is
one
it just like the
bonus
game,
chapter.
like the game in general, the gameplay?
No, the gameplay is
or
great. Just
is it the story that feels short?
The story that feels like we're missing a couple chapters. Because like it's every single route is only 15 chapters long, plus one bonus chapter if you recruit Byleth and Gerald. But yeah, it's still just not complete in the end, because like in the Black Eagles route, you managed to defeat Rhea, but the war is still going on. It's like Gerald. Oh shit, they're alive. Gerald is like narrating. Edelgard was able to defeat the church and bring reforms. By the way, the war is still going on.
That was also kind of the case with
but then,
Crimson Flower as well, where it's like the fight against those who slither in the dark still also
the
continued.
Twisted. Yeah. But then you play the Blue Lions route of Three Hopes, and like Dimitri was able to defend his kingdom, and he marches forward to take on the Empire.
The war still goes on?
The war's still going on. And then Goldilocks is like, Claude was able, the war's still going on.
I mean, to be fair, it is happening. Like, it is still between that time, but yeah, though actually, at that point, Three Hopes became its own separate timeline.
Yeah, it's a completely different timeline. This is the timeline where, I joke, Dimitri had an intervention with all of his friends, trying to just give him
boy got a hug.
Mental health.
My boy got a hug that he needed.
Just there was a lot of good stuff. Like you get to meet a lot of the parents of the Three House cast, like Caspar and Linhart's dad. Count Burgley's I think might be my new favorite character, probably in all of Fodlan. Let's see, Rodrigue is actually playable. You get to meet like Sylvain's dad. Let's see. Oh, you get to.
Shit! Did we actually bash? Did we actually bash the kid's head in?
I guess we'll never know. See, Hilda's brother Holst is playable if you play Goldilocks. And, you also get to meet Lawrence's dad. And, Claude's older, half-brother.
Oh, we get to see Claude's older brother?
Yeah, his older half-brother.
Is he a nice dude or is he an asshole?
He's a very not nice dude.
Okay, he's an asshole.
Yeah, it was just nice to see a lot of family.
Show up again?
Who?
Does Nader?
Oh yeah, he shows up.
Oh, cool. He's not Claude's dad, right?
No, he's not.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
No, he's more like a
cool uncle.
Yeah, he's more of a cool uncle, godfather kind of guy. Because the Golden Deer's plot is like Prince Shahid is invading from Elmira, and then Nader and Claude are like, "Kid, what are you doing? No."
No.
And then once Shahid tries to invade Fodlan one last time, they both betray him on the spot.
Oof.
And it turns out Nader and Holst have actually been friends for like the past couple of years.
Really?
Yeah, Claude set them up. He's like, "You two big buff bros will get along just fine." They were like,
you know that scene in Predator where
yeah, it was "You son of a bitch."
You son of a bitch.
Oh, I have one more thing to say about Three Hopes' story. So, they were all like right in each route. They were like right at the capital's doorstep of the enemy to like end the war right there. But every single route has like, "We're about to win the war."
We're about to win the war.
Our home country's under attack because we left it completely unguarded. Fuck, everyone go back. That was pretty much the story.
The war goes on.
For every single route. That was just, yeah, like, guys, how did you fuck this up? So, my thoughts are like, there's gotta be a DLC or something, because they left a lot of just things unanswered.
I'm sure they might be thinking about more DLC, though maybe not. It all depends, cause
it really doesn't feel like
Engage, which I also find as a weird title.
Oh,
Engage is coming out this January.
Yeah. No, do you know why it's called Engage? It's because every time they put on the ring, they keep putting it on like the engagement ring or like finger. So that's why I called it. It's. I get it. They're getting engaged.
Joke. It's the thing.
They're getting engaged.
There's still more with the direct. Because it was a pretty beefy one too, at like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Speaking of beef, why were there so many farming games?
I don't know. Like I saw like the first farming game they showed. I'm like, oh, that's kind of. I think it was a Story of Seasons, basically Harvest Moon, but not in name. Like
and then
not in name.
And then the
which
second
I
one,
saw, which actually, you know, on how I said, don't play Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons, just play like Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah.
That's sort of like what I saw. I was like, okay, you know what? I'd be willing to play this. This doesn't look too bad.
And then, like, the second farming game shows up, and we're like, hey, okay, it's a cool dink. And then the third, was there a third?
Third, fourth, maybe a fifth.
I don't know. Like they're all just starting to blend together in my head.
But the second one, I was like, okay, this seems a bit weird, showing off a second farming sim. I feel like if I was like the company that said like, hey, Nintendo, can you show off my games? Can you show off my game in your next direct? And they're like, sure. And then they show out a second one, and I'm like, I would be like, what the fuck? Now just a lot of attention is kind of like, most of the attention that was on my game is now half of it is onto another.
And then
another. Then another. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
There was a lot of farming sims, and I don't know why.
People on our generation just want to fuck off from society and live on a lodge.
I mean, you know what? That's fair enough.
Thanos had it right. I like to call it the Thanos retirement plan, where you just join the wilderness.
Pikmin 4 was also shown. Well, actually, not shown.
Like a teaser.
Miyamoto just came out and
just
said,
says,
like,
"Oh, by
hey,
the way, we're working on Pikmin 4."
Yeah, Pikmin 4 is coming out. Still nothing on Metroid Prime 4, might I also say. Which, come on. At least Bayonetta 3's been shown.
Oh yeah, that's also coming out.
Thankfully, Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3 were the two games that were like people are like, are they in development hell? Thankfully, Bayonetta 3's out. Which that one was higher on my priority. Pikmin 4. And also, we fucking finally got to see more of Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh yeah,
which now has its own, now actually has its own title.
This guy has been through like a Mandela effect over the past couple of months, and I swear there was like a shit ton of trailers or announcements coming out.
No. What I was sure of was that Nintendo said that there will be more information coming out about Breath of the Wild 2 during the summer.
Yeah.
That's what I remember hearing,
okay.
that there was more information. Not that there was for sure new information, but they said that there was going to be in the summer specifically. Now, we didn't see too much. We didn't get a whole lot with Breath of the Wild 2. And you know what? I'm just going to call it at that point because that's what I've been calling it this whole time. But we still got a pretty good amount of new stuff.
Although,
which, honestly, I'm really happy.
Yeah, tricky wordplay with the title. Is it called Tear of the Kingdom or Terror of the Kingdoms?
I want to say Tears. Or, like, Tear of the Kingdom. That's my guess.
Thanks, English, for being English.
Well, you know in how whenever we got, like, new abilities for the room, for the...
Oh, the Sheikah's, like...
Yeah, you know, and how it would all pool down into a tier? Maybe that has something to do with it? I don't know.
Or maybe you're going to be crying because you're, like, skydiving and you don't have goggles, so all the wind's blushing into your just eyes. That's what I think, like, that was the plan from the dev team. Like, they just see people making rocketries in the first game, or like, you want to fucking fly? We'll give you a game that's all just flying. And yeah, that's actually pretty exciting, just to see how vertical the game can be now.
Oh yeah, like there's I wasn't sure on how much they would be able to change because we've already explored all of Hyrule in Breath of the Wild. So I'm like, what do they change? There's a lot more islands than I was sky islands than I was expecting. And it doesn't seem like the islands just came out of the ground around different places. No, they seem like they might have been there the whole time or something like that. Or maybe they just magically showed up. But there's like a whole bunch of new stuff.
Or they just came from space.
That too.
Turns out those are like shards of Majora's Moon or something.
They did also show on how we would get to those islands.
Oh,
that
yeah.
There's like elevators. And
Big
it looks like they're
elevators
going up high.
and ginormous hang gliders.
Giant flying boards.
Yeah.
And also they showed off like what might be a brand new character, potentially a villain or a new ally to Link. Like there was like a mural.
Oh yeah. I don't know what that's about. I just assumed there was more like, just like long ago in the ancient past and whatnot. But who knows? Maybe it'll all come together.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking cash.
Holy shit!
He does not look impressed.
That's
Actually,
how
how much is this?
Enough. That's how he plans.
500 million. I make more than that. Kiryu has way more than that.
Now, don't tell anyone.
Kiryu's all surprised.
That's probably why this old guy's not impressed. He's like, I know you fuckers have way more than that. Pay up. It's like,
he was like, I wiped my ass with 500 million. I also like how we've just been talking and we haven't been paying attention to this
yeah.
very important scene of the game.
No, this is what they were talking about the whole last time. These guys were talking about the Nintendo Direct.
They're just at the board meeting with different charts, so it's like these are prediction sales, and here's our chart for how hype each game announcement is going to get.
Or these are those kind of those YouTubers that like look at a 30-second trailer and like make a 3-hour long theory video out of it. I used to be one of like I used to watch a lot of those, and then at some point I was just like, why am I doing this? Like as soon as the game comes out, pretty much all those videos mean nothing, and I like don't remember anything from them. So that's kind of just like I just no longer want to watch any of those anymore.
I mean, I still watch them because it's like I need like breadcrumbs to just like nibble on. It's like a nice trail that leads to the game as I like, where the end is where like I'll buy the game, and the beginning of it is just like it's hyping me up each time.
Man, I'm willing to just eat ants if it means I get an even bigger Thanksgiving dinner at the end, because like I can wait.
That's right. Like you had Constance, who was a dark that started out like just a regular mage, and then Timeskip, she's a dark flyer. But in Three Hopes, she goes for a much higher class of Grimory.
Oh yeah,
I find it funny.
That was another thing that was data mined in Three Hopes. Is like all of those extra classes are in the game.
Wait, Dark Flyer, War Monk, those aren't.
They're not like not playable, but they're buried deep in the game's code.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
People found that and were like, why is this in here?
I guess they were really cut for time, and they needed to meet a quota. But you know what? If they have to skip, like, if we miss content because they don't want to do crush time, I'm fine with that.
Actually, that was another like small complaint I had about Three Hopes. It was that the class system is like a lot like older games where you're like supposed to be locked into one class. But I liked it in Three Houses where like if you were like a mage but you had a high enough bow skill, you could still use bows. But in Three Hopes, you're pretty much locked into just one weapon type, and you can only use one.
I mean that would make sense for a Warriors game because they don't want to like complicate it too much.
Yeah,
I guess.
but I feel like they could have easily worked something in.
Maybe, but it's like
it doesn't help that they also, you also get all the crest weapons that like, but they're like,
damn,
to the character that they're tied to. It's not like their main weapon. So to unlock like the crest effects, you have to like change them into the class that can actually use that weapon, which is pretty annoying.
Now we really get to fight the whole building.
Oh my god.
Also, just look at them.
Yeah, I saw the mini map and like that looks like sprinkles on a cookie. Ian has built his first Gundam model. This is probably what a dad feels like when he buys his kid like their first car. That's what I feel about Ian with Gundam. So the reason why they like have you build the thing instead of just having like a fully pre-built model is just like not only is it way cheaper for you to like just get a bunch of like the sheets and then assemble it yourself.
It's like the next step, like above Legos or something.
Yeah, because like after you like craft it yourself with your own hands, you feel way more attached to it. And there's also like easier to like customize and paint all the different individual parts if you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Be like a hardcore.
My only issue is that
weather brush everything.
The only issue that I have is like it's just annoying to get like those perfect cuts and then you have to sand them. And then there's like a piece or two on my Gundam that I just made where it's like I think like the toe part of it always wants to keep falling off.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Building stuff yourself gives you like a greater attachment, which is also kind of why like IKEA, for the same reason, because like cheaper to just store the big boxes instead of like fully assembled furniture, easier to carry and take home, and then once you assemble it, you feel like a greater attachment to it. How often do you go to IKEA, actually?
I've never been to an IKEA.
You haven't?
No. Well, there's no IKEA in Iowa.
Okay, you have to go up to Minnesota.
You have to go out of state.
Next summer, I'm taking you to IKEA.
Alright, fine.
But
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Oh, finally
thank
loaded.
God.
I thought we were gonna have to like cut the episode right there. But no, the IKEA food is actually as holy shit, as good as it like people say it is.
The meatballs are just that good.
Yeah, the meatballs, the sauce, and the oh yeah, everything is actually pretty
Then
good.
there's that one dude that just played like an IKEA worker.
Oh, that
That's just
one dude
like-
on TikTok.
Yeah.
The really
Right.
sassy IKEA worker. Yeah, he's a gem. But one time I was
Take this
eating
lantern.
my family and I were eating lunch at IKEA, and I get the salmon salad, and then I noticed there's like a perfectly intact dragonfly in my salad, and I'm about to eat it because I thought like, oh, this
Wait,
is
like a giant dragonfly?
no, like a 4-inch fully assembled like intact dragonfly, just there. And I was just about to eat it because I thought it was part of the peak. It's like, oh, this is some fancy European shit. So I'm about to eat it. I stop. I look around to my left. I look around to my right. Nobody else has a dragonfly in their
Come on.
salad. So I take it up to the counter. The guy who's like working the register is like, "Is this supposed to have a dragonfly in it?" And he's like, "Oh shit! Here, let me just take it back for your kid." And then this mega chad of a worker walks back with 2 plates of chocolate cake for me. He's like, "Oh, dude, like you didn't have to do that for me." He's like, "No, no."
Fuck.
But then the guy was like, "No,
No,
take this, take this. I'm not going to say no. Take it." And it's like, holy shit!
Fuck.
Big thanks, man.
I took a bullet for you, Oda.
So, yeah, IKEA. Even when they goof, which honestly wasn't even that big of a goof, they still
Shit.
holy shit, made up for it in the long run. Whoever, Mr. Cake Man, I sincerely
Oh shit.
give you my thanks. You deserve everything good that's good in the world. Yeah, we gotta take you to IKEA. I actually did kind of want to go, just to get the shark plushie Blade.
Speaking of sharks,
Because apparently it was that particular. What the fuck?
you can catch fish.
You
can
can
go fishing and you can catch a great white.
you can fish up a great white?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I wanted to get the Blahid because apparently it was going to be discontinued, and I got really sad because it's thanks to Gura I suddenly give a shit about sharks now.
What, you didn't give shit about sharks before?
No, I cared about sharks, but like not nearly as much. I didn't appreciate them. To me, the shark was just another animal. It exists on Earth, and nothing more. Oh,
Oh,
it's this!
hell yeah.
It's this cutscene that I see a bunch in like Yakuza out of context compilations.
Fuck. Never killed a man.
Canonically has never killed a guy, but can slash him so hard that he bleeds money. Oh yeah, so another conversation topic is the Joker. That screenshot where he's just absolutely livid right there.
Okay, so what made him so mad?
Online school. Because
What?
wait, have you watched the show at all?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
No, I've watched season 1 and
parts
a
of
good
2?
chunk of season 2.
Have you gotten to the part in season 2 where the Joker like loses his his psychotic Joker side and becomes like a normal person briefly?
Yes.
Okay, and how he starts dating that one nurse,
Yeah.
and they adopts like her kids as his stepkids.
Yeah.
So his son is doing like online school, trying to learn math online, and then it cuts to Joker like, show your work? What do you mean show your work? How about for the fact my son can fucking count to 7? It throws the laptop in rage. Yeah, just a lot of the Joker goes through just a lot of character development because he actually runs for mayor of Gotham, all because of a parking spot at the school.
Wait, that's the reason why?
Yeah, because it was being taken up by like the leader of like
Oh, God.
the student council executive board, who's like the soccer mom Karen that like she probably like pretty much just owns the school because she keeps like fundraising it and just owns everything. And then the Joker wanted to enlist his kids in the dual language program, but her kids got in first just because of like, oh, she basically runs the school and all like the board members are her friends. So the Joker, purely out of spite, decides to run for mayor and increase the school's funding to let more room in for his kids to join in the program. And then meanwhile he's at it, he's just like improving the entire city. And
which honestly, okay, Joker running, everything that's happened in the Harley Quinn show and Joker running for mayor, like I feel like
and then
that's just a great concept to actually now explore.
And then actually being like a legitimately good mayor too, because at one point he robs a bank, and then he goes on a speech of like how Gotham's rich, have been hoarding wealth all to themselves for all these years, and he starts throwing it to people for free, and then like a TV anchor is like interviewing him. He's like, "So, are you some kind of a socialist?" And the Joker just like, "I'm not some kind of a socialist. I am a socialist." Although, yeah, talking about superheroes. So, Thor: Love and Thunder finally came out on Disney Plus, and I kind of see why. Now I see why people are upset about it, because everyone says it was like awful, terrible. How could Taika Waititi do this to the MCU? Is gonna die. But my review is like, it's not bad at all. It kind of just has like
too many jokes.
No, it wasn't even that either. It was more like, for me, it was like the Iron Man 2 syndrome, where like Iron Man 2 was basically just the first Iron Man again,
but just with higher stakes.
Like slightly higher stakes. It's basically just a retread of the first one, and I feel.
So was Love and Thunder a tread of?
It was basically just Ragnarok again, because like it's not bad. Just I think people were expecting a lot more out of it, and yeah, that's kind of understandable. I think Taika Waititi just was going through a Guns N' Roses phase, or like a mood while making the movie. Because it goes through pretty much the entire, like, the best Guns N' Roses hits throughout the film.
Do you have any other issues with it?
I guess the Guardians of the Galaxy were kind of wasted. Because they only show up as a cameo in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, really? Is that it that we see of them?
Yeah, they don't even show up after. They're just in the first 5 minutes and they fuck off.
Huh.
Or they get a distress call from Lady Sif, who, by the way, just shows up again after being missing all these years.
Lady Sif?
Sif. She's like one of Thor's friends, a Viking woman.
Oh. Is she like the one that's running the new...
Oh, no, that's Valkyrie.
Oh.
Someone else. So, yeah, she sends a distress call to Thor, and then Thor's like, I need to go help my friend, and then Peter Quill is like, oh, that's a shame. We have like a 1,000 other jobs we need to do across the galaxy. How about we... I don't want to say this, but
I don't know,
maybe we have to split up. It's like Thor's like, very well, my friend. I shall see you again. You were great friends and comrades in arms.
Oh, like he's going back to like the old Thor.
Yeah, he's just going on this like really long speech, and then by the time he's like halfway through, Quill and the rest of the Guardians get on the ship and just fuck off, just leaving him there.
I will say, going a little bit back to what like Thor was, I think that's a nice little touch.
I don't know, I'm kind of mixed, because like I think he did go through like a brief training arc where he like got his fit back.
Of course we're not gonna have Big Lebowski
but I feel like
Thor for the entire rest of the MCU.
Yeah, but I feel like he could have at least stayed that for this movie at least. Because like, it feels like they're backtracking on what they did in Endgame. Because like, I feel like people... Yeah, I understand why they didn't like Lebowski Thor in Endgame, but I don't know. This thing about it was just relatable. Or like, just watching him like just struggle and go through a depressive phase. But, you know, even though he's been like drinking the whole time and gaining like 102 pounds... Like, when he went back in time, Mjolnir still chose him. Because, like, even even when you're still depressed and just not having a good time, you
I
can
mean,
still be worthy.
I mean, if Thor, well, the thing is, if like Thor would still probably be able to strengthen himself if he got back into shape, he'd probably be able to do more.
Yeah, I probably could.
So it's like,
But I feel like even Lebowski Thor could still achieve quite a bit. Yeah, to me.
and this is the last Thor. Like, this is the last movie where we get Chris Hemsworth Thor, right?
No.
Or no.
Post teaser credits teaser says Thor will return.
Though they could be talking about Lady Thor, right?
Possibly, but maybe not. Are you gonna watch it at all? Because
I might watch.
okay.
Love and Thunder.
Okay,
when I
just
find the time.
you'll see what I mean. So as a whole, yeah, my thoughts on Love and Thunder. It's like not fantastic, but not nearly as terrible as people said it was. Because like I don't think this is the end of the MCU, or that it's suddenly going to die after all these years.
It's not the end, but it's definitely like now hit its peak where Disney's just trying to continue to make more, but it's just not the same quality.
I feel like until we get the next like Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty, right now the MCU is just in its filler arc.
Hopefully it's not going to continue being its filler arc, because one issue that I've heard from Phase 4 now is that they're like, and especially for the shows, there's no giant threat.
Yeah, there's really a big threat.
There's not really any threat that's like pushing the MCU, where it's like there's nothing to really cause like show like, oh, there will be consequences because of this.
That's something I kind of want to see more the MCU do, like because in the MCU, you know that the good guys are eventually going to win.
Yeah.
But Invincible, like, it has actual consequences that affect the rest of the story, and I think it's okay to like have really just the heroes get absolutely shit-bricked and they're just dying and just not having a good time, because like, it's okay to like not win all the time. That's something I think the MCU can do a bit more of.
I mean, that was literally Infinity War.
Yeah, but sure. I mean, they bounced back.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, have them fail, but then they can still bounce back.
Yeah,
and all that.
That's something I like to see them do a bit more of.
Which actually, I know we talked about the whole Warner Brother Discovery and the Spider-Man episode that hasn't been released, put out yet.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully Amazon doesn't get any funny ideas and think like, oh, Warner Brothers and like Netflix are stopping all these animations and like taking like just cutting them off. Let's hope Amazon doesn't do that too.
I don't think they're evil, but they're not stupid. Because like they saw what happened to just Warner Discovery stock and how it pretty much fell into the underworld.
Yeah.
And like now they know exactly what not to do.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Apparently, like, the Warner Discovery went on that giant animation purge to save like $3 billion. But then all this show shit ended up costing them like 20-something billion.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah, when you got like, pretty much.
Not to mention like axing a movie that cost like $90 million when literally they could have put that out and they probably made their money back.
She stumbled across one video talking about like the fate of like Spider-Man movies and whatnot, and like how Sony just doesn't know what to do with the Spider-Man IP, because the only good thing they've made recently is Venom.
I mean,
and Venom is only like Venom is only like oh, this one's not a disaster. B-, yippee. Or like, but then everything else has been a total just loss. And in this video, they also say like how Sony actually had like a really good chance to make something new with Amazing Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield.
Oh, that's why I'm hearing like a popping sound. from the speakers, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Are we having? No, it's just the fire.
Oh, it was the fire the whole time?
Yeah.
And this one video, they have this really good idea of like how they could bring back an Andrew Garfield, like Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I've been hearing stuff about that.
Yeah. So, what they, what this video said was like, Amazing Spider-Man, but replace the A and man with a 3. Amazing Spider-Men. And then have Andrew Garfield mentor Miles Morales in like live action, because sure you could do that in the MCU, but Tom Holland is still playing like a kid Peter Parker. He's not mentor Peter Parker yet.
Yeah, not well, or maybe he could be considered.
I mean, it's a little too soon because like MCU Peter is like barely 18. He's like just barely out of high school.
Or maybe they wait a couple years and they do like maybe a small time skip.
Yeah, maybe. But I think Andrew Garfield pretty much has like the feel of like a mentor Spider-Man, and just Andrew Garfield just has like the cool older brother that looks out for you kind of feel. And I think he could totally like apprentice a young Miles Morales or something.
True.
And that's something I'd absolutely would want to just see them do.
But yeah, that's also up to that's still up to Sony.
Come on, Sony. That's like the ultimate gold mine you have right there that you're sitting on. Fucking do it, please.
Not to mention, we still don't know the fate of Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, well they're obviously he's going to be.
Well, the thing is, we don't know if Sony will be making those Spider-Man movies, and they will no longer have connection to the MCU after that, or if they will continue, like Disney, like and Sony make a new agreement, but there's just no connection.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do at this point. I think at this point, Sony's probably just better off, like, fine, we'll loan you Tom Holland Spider-Man, but we still get to keep everything else. Which I think that's a reasonable-ish deal.
Anyway, I think that's about time.
Yeah, that's probably time to cut it. So, if you liked what you heard and saw, smush the like, hit subscribe, leave a comment on, like, what
subscribe,
villain...
like, comment, and if you don't, you're gonna make this shark lose a smile.
Leave a comment on who you think the next villain should be in the hypothetical Spider-Men, Amazing Spider-Men, with Andrew Garfield and Miles Morales. Because there's still a shit ton of villains that like they haven't used it all that I kind of want to see them do stuff with, like who's one?
Kingpin?
Oh yeah, like a proper live action Kingpin or Silver Sable. Shocker. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's in the MCU.
Well, actually, technically, Silver Sable might still be getting her movie.
Oh, was she?
I don't know. Well, Sony did. Okay, we're getting off on a tangent. Anyway, bye.